Did you know that a black man by the name of Isaac R. Johnson created and patented the bicycle frame? Born sometime during the year 1812 and returned to the Essence September the 30th, 1960. While he was not the first person to invent the bicycle frame, German inventor Carl von Drais was. Johnson, however, was the first African American to invent and patent the bicycle frame. In fact, Johnson's version is similar to the version we ride today. Johnson's version, however, was a frame which could be folded and stored in small places. It was often used while traveling and on vacation. The bicycle also came with instructions, which would describe each piece of the bicycle frame. Did you know that? Well, now you do. Peace.
All right, peace everybody, and welcome back to another episode of My Quality is for Real. I am Queen My Quality, and here I have real talks with quality people who have real purpose. And today I have two dope individuals who are part of a team who is really dope and really helped me out and gave me a spotlight. So I definitely wanted to return the favor and give them a spotlight as well. I have two members of the Blunt Space. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we're going to get right into the Blunt Space and, what that is and how they, gave me my spotlight. But I'm going to let y'all go first. We have Miss Shoya, like the bean, Shoya Randolph, and Caden Small. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, you guys. Thanks for having us here, Queen. I'm gonna call you Queen because I like that. My name is Shoya, and I'm a co-founder and creative associate director for the Blunt Space, which is a nonprofit for art advocacy and culture. And we aim to be a safe haven and provide resources to marginalized voices in the arts. So I'm so glad we got connected to you, and I'm so happy to be a part of this podcast. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna give the baton to my baby, Kaden.
Hey. Thank you, Shoya, and thank you, Queen My Quality, for having us here. My name is Caden Small. I am also a creative associate director here at the Blunt Space Incorporated. As Shoya said earlier, we are a nonprofit organization dedicated to art advocacy and culture. We do that by a lot of different online initiatives that we do, along with community events and workshops. So I'm super excited that we're here, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yes. So the Blunt Space gave me an opportunity, and I'm going to edit the video and I'll show y'all my art. But they gave me an opportunity to showcase my art on their New Shit Wednesday, which I love the name. Shouts out to everybody that, participated in the New Shit Wednesday. I think that's really dope. And me being new to this, because I guess technically I've always liked art, as a kid, but you never realize, like a full circle moment. Now I'm actually doing art and people like yourselves are noticing it. So it's a full circle moment for me. How did the Blunt Space get, I know both of you are the co-founders of it. Can you kind of tell me what inspired this? What made y'all want to come up in the name, the Blunt Space? Can you kind of give me a little, backstory on that?
Sure, you do want to give it, or you want me to give it?
Yeah, I can give it. So it's actually 5 co-founders, me, Caden, Quinn, Dom, and Charles. And it first started off as a website by Quinn, and she made the Blunt Space a website because it was around the time that the Black Lives Matter movement was kind of being resparked due to the unfortunate murder of George Floyd. And she saw it as a moment where Black voices were being heard, but then there was a censorship where yes, we want to hear what Black people have to say, especially since it's a trend right now, but we want to hear it filtered. They didn't want uncensored voices. And that's why Quinn created the Blunt Space. So Black queer voices specifically can have a platform to showcase their art and what they have to say about the matter, especially around the times of the Black Lives Matter movement. And they didn't have to censor themselves. They didn't have to worry about being too woke or too radical aggressive. So she started off as a website. And then we joined the team Caden, Dom, Charles, and I, because we agreed with that initiative. And once we joined the team, we eventually became incorporated in 2021. And we became more organized and realized that this is something that could make a difference within the community. This could be a safe space where we are not just giving Black voices and queer voices and, you know, marginalized voices a space to be unfiltered with their art, but we can uplift the community. We can be a safe space for the community. We can provide resources to the community. So it grew from that to not only wanting to give our people in our community a space, a voice to say what they have to say through their art, but a space where they can survive as artists, they can showcase themselves, they can connect, they can showcase their new shit, like with our New Shit Wednesdays initiative. So it continues to grow, and our mission gets stronger and stronger as we, you know, connect more into the community. And we're excited to talk more about that today. I know Caden is going to have a lot more to say about how we were co-founded and his perspective. I would love to hear him.
Yes, I would love to hear your perspective, Kaden. How did this happen for you?
So yeah, it pretty much happened how Shoya said it. Oh, hold on. Oh no. But yeah, it actually happened how Shoya said it. My best friend Quinn, actually, we met in college. We always talked about starting a nonprofit, and it started off as just something that was poetry based and focused more like what Shoya said on queer Black voices. But as the team got bigger and our message became a lot more clear that this is something that was just not an issue for these particular marginalized groups, we expanded to all marginalized identities as far as how artists goes. So it kind of just grew and grew into what it is now. I don't want to beat a dead horse because, you know, Troy kind of like explained everything, but yeah, we're going strong. I think it's really cool that we get to connect with so many different types of artists from all over the country. And it really has played a role and actually helped us feed our mission a lot more into providing this safe haven for all artists that come from marginalized backgrounds.
Absolutely, and it is a beautiful thing, especially like you said, as far and the fact that you guys started this or it blossomed in 2021 in the middle of a pandemic. I think that that's really dope. A lot of people, I think the whole pandemic thing was kind of bittersweet for us. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, we lost a lot of people and it was tragic and it was sad, but it birthed a lot of, you know, creativity and a lot of dope things such as, you know, such as this. So I guess we can say shouts out to the pandemic, you know.
You can definitely say that.
Right side of it, you know, it definitely birthed a lot of different things. So outside of that, you know, Miss Shoya, you're a poet, you know, a journalist,
I am.
all of that good stuff too. So how do you bring that to the blunt space, and what do you do outside of the blunt space with your talents and your art yourself?
Honestly, just to get a give background, but also to get personal, I went to school for poetry. I got my master's in creative writing, centered in poetry, and I taught creative writing for 2 years. And around the pandemic, I just felt a creative burnout where I felt myself falling out of love with poetry during the pandemic, which was heartbreaking, heart shattering to first off be in so much debt for that master's degree. Let me tell you, I paid money for it. And to falling out of love with such a impactful art medium for me, it was really tough during the pandemic. So even though the blunt space is dedicated to helping marginalized voices, I think I was one of the initial voices that it helped as a poet, because when we first started, we were the artists providing the content. So Quinn, Caden, and I, we were providing art so people would want to submit. You know, we was in the trenches trying to get it done. And that's why I'm so proud of where we are today. And so it gave me a space where I had to kind of, if I wanted this nonprofit to flourish, if I wanted to play my part as a co-founder, I had to provide art. So it gave me assignments where I was required to write poetry. I was required to write poetry, short stories. So that put me in a position to kind of fall back in love with poetry and write more and use that degree I spent all that money on, because I regret how much money I spent on it. That's why I'm gonna keep talking about it. So it kind of refueled my passion for poetry, but it also opened up another passion of how I don't want to just be the art. I don't want to be the artist. I want to be a part of what's going on behind the scenes. I want to lend a hand in helping people showcase their art. And so that was something I realized new about myself of what I wanted to do. And I think during the pandemic, we were all trying to figure out, is this the career I want? Some of us got furloughed. What should I do now? It was a huge shift for a lot of us career-wise. And I work in journalism. I work as a publicity assistant for a university. Taught for a while. I was working for a law office at the time. And so my world was all over the place, doing legal writing, doing journalism writing, just trying to figure out my place in this world as a person and what I want to do with my life. And once I found my passion for the blunt space where I could combine my love for poetry and art and just all the mediums and realize I can also make a difference, I realized this is what I want to do with my life. There's no, when we're kids, we're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And you can say astronaut, I want to be the first president, I want to be Beyonce, all this other stuff. But now that I'm an adult, during the pandemic, I asked myself, what do I want to do? And it was kind of a question mark. But now that I have the blunt space, it's like, this is for me. This is what I think God wants me to do. This is where I could use everything that I've learned over the years and make a difference. And hopefully one of these days, make money as an individual. We are a nonprofit sector, so we do this with our heart. So that's a little bit background on me and how I try to bring some of my knowledge to the table.
That's dope. That's dope. And like you said, the money. Let me ask you this before I get to you, Kate. And I just want to ask you, being that you went to school and you got your master's in the poet and journalism. So somebody like myself who wants to do the whole acting thing, you know what I'm saying? And so I ask people that went to school for acting, do you really think that it's worth it? Do you think that it's worth it to actually go and get that degree, or somebody who actually just wake up and says, I'm a poet, and then they go out, you know what I'm saying, and they do it that way? Does that make sense? What do you think? What anybody out there who may be wanting to go and get that master's, do you think it's worth it, or do you think just follow your heart and go that way?
That's such a great question that I think shows up in all art mediums. I'm also a music editor for a magazine called Frontrunner, and I ask artists that all the time, where I'm like, I noticed you went to school, you went to Juilliard, and now you're an actual artist. Was it worth it? And I think it's very much up to the individual and what art medium they're committed to. For me, it's really about networking. I think that's what it's most useful for. There's definitely a possibility that you can go to school and you can learn a few things here and there, but you may not learn as much as you want. You may not get the most out of it like you thought you would, just being honest. But it's really about those connections. It's really about networking. It's really about getting to know the right people. So if you go to school for theater or acting, you may learn a few things here, better your monologues, but it's mostly about networking and finding the right people. It's all about connections. It's all about community. And I think that's the biggest advantage when it comes to pursuing a degree in some type of art form. So if you are going to a university and they don't have those connections, they don't have that community, I definitely think it's a waste. Master's, graduate degrees in general are just more expensive. But outside of that, yeah, just get connected. It's all about the people you know. And if you can get that by getting a degree, it's worth it. But if not, and it's just a bunch of white people who aren't going to help you or understand your art, or who are going to try to shift and alter your art, kind of like what I went through, then you're going to be 100K in debt for no reason. But with the right connections, it's worth the money, in my personal opinion.
Well, thank you.
I would have to echo that sentiment.
Blunt answer.
The blunt space.
Right. And so for Kaden, with you being a multifaceted artist, can you kind of break down what that is? Because that sounds like that's a lot. What exactly? Same question for you. Like, what do you, everything about yourself?
So to give a little background about myself, as you mentioned earlier, I'm very much a multifaceted artist. I danced for years. I also dabbled in visual art. I too am also a writer. I do poetry. I also do short stories. So you name it, I probably have done it. And I've, throughout the years of my life, have cultivated all of that stuff kind of on my own and kind of have been self-taught. But yeah, that's pretty much who I am as an individual as far as my artist background. I did get my degree at the University of South Florida. I don't have a master's, but I am pursuing one in public administration this upcoming semester. So wish me luck, y'all. But yeah, and like Shoya, the blunt space really was a safe haven for me. When we're in academic settings, I feel like, well, at least from my experience, I got very much starved creatively. Like the type of stuff that I wanted to write, I couldn't. How I wanted to write, I couldn't. Like literally everything is just so academic. And I feel like a lot of that perspective that comes from creative minds like ourselves kind of gets lost because they pretty much force us to do things a specific kind of way in order to get accepted by whatever it is. So one of the first things I did, because I call me strange, but I actually enjoy writing essays, but I like writing them my way. I want to write them how I speak. I want to write them how the average person thinks. So so many times I have felt like, okay, I'm getting pushed into the scholarly way of writing that I'm like, I don't enjoy this. This is crap. Why the hell am I here?
Right.
So the Blunt Space was one of those first spaces where I got to write something the way that I wanted to write it. And it was very freeing. And I was like, you know what? If I was able to write like this while I was in college, there's a lot of papers that I would have done on time. And the fact that the fact that we are a space where people can do that, I'm like, that's insane. It's pretty much kind of unheard of. And that is kind of sad if you think about it. But yeah, that's pretty much why I got so involved in the Blunt Space, because that first thing was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this some more. This is so freeing. So yeah, that's pretty much was my experience with the Blunt Space, and all of my experiences outside of that. As far as like my community engagement, I'm very much active in a lot of other social organizations. I work with St. Pete Pride. I'm actually helping them with their Juneteenth event that they're doing to cover some intersectional stuff, because I'm like, if y'all gonna throw a Juneteenth event, y'all need to do it right. We're not about to hop on the bandwagon.
Right.
And along with, I'm also involved with another community org called Evolve Tampa Bay, which is like an organization dedicated to like building community amongst queer Black men. And on top of that, I dabble a little with the Diversity Council that's here in our government and the government of St. Pete. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I pretty much, my founding principles are on that, making sure that marginalized voices are heard. Oh, and I'm also involved with the Iconic House of Ninja if you're into ballroom stuff. So yeah, we actually are throwing the
what
ball.
y'all not gonna do is come out here and make me feel like I ain't doing enough, okay? Because y'all is really out here doing the work. I'm like, okay, so all right, but that's amazing though, and that's dope. And I want to kind of piggyback off of something that you said, Kaden, about writing the way you speak. I remember as being young and writing essays, because one thing I used to love to write, and now that you're saying and now it's making sense why I kind of lost that love, is because what I wanted to write, like I would have my pops or somebody proofread it and I'll be like, I mean, it sounds good, but you're kind of writing how you talking. You're not supposed to write like that. And as you can tell, I got this country draw. You get what I'm saying? And so for you to say that, and for you guys to create a space that's okay. That's okay for you to write how you talk. That's okay, because that's a part of you, and if that's how you want to express yourself, then you have a platform and a community of people that allows you to do that. So I really think that's really dope. Let the people know exactly if they want to be a part of the Blunt Space. How do we be a part of it? How can I donate? How can I, enter my work? All of that. Anybody?
There are so many ways that you can get involved with the Blunt Space. There are so many ways. For people who want to start light, because you got a lot on your plate, we all doing our best to survive and everything that's going on. You can first off do what My Queen Quality did, and you could submit. You could take advantage of the platform that we provide to artists, and you can write the way you want to write. We have different platforms that we give artists, such as our New Shit Wednesdays, where we're constantly promoting new shit. There's not any type of barrier or box when it comes to that. We accept all types of art, from visual art to poetry to spoken word pieces. We even just not too recently had an anime person submit, where it was just moving animation, which we thought was so cool. Or you can come to our events and support. We have a lot of upcoming events happening. This month we have 2 events. We have one event, which is our Pride Open Mic, which is happening at Inclusivity, which is in St. Pete on Central. Y'all come through. Doors open at 7. You can arrive at 6, and that's in collaboration with Metro Inclusive Health. Back on what Kaden said, we have an event, the Juneteenth event that's happening on Juneteenth. We're going to be a part of that as the Blunt Space, and you can come and rock with us. We have a great time. If you're not available in June, again, Kaden is a part of the Iconic House of Ninja, which was founded by Willie Ninja, the godfather of Vogue. Madonna will be nothing without that man. And so we're collaborating with them and Metro and a lot of different organizations to have the Hunger Games ball that's happening on July 23rd. So secure your tickets now. So you can submit to us. You can come to our events. You can donate by going to our website. We have a PayPal. You can donate through that. And if you one of the new girls, you know, the new generation who ain't got time to go online and go through PayPal, we also take Cash App, which is $Blunt Space. And we're always looking for volunteers, which you can find on our website. If you go to www.theblunt.space, slash volunteers. That's just the link. You can sign up and volunteer, and you can do it virtually from your home, or you can do it in person. In the future, we hope to have interns so we can help younger voices in the community learn more, because we have so many opportunities where people can get familiar with the Adobe Creative Suite, with Audition and Premiere and things of that sort. So we not only looking for people who want to be a part of the Blunt Space, but we also want to embody our mission of helping marginalized voices in every way we can. So we don't want just volunteers, we don't want just donations, we want to connect with the community. So as long as you connect with us, whether it's submission, whether it's a donation, or whether you're volunteering from the other side of the world, just that effort alone is enough for us, because we want it to be a give and take. We want it to be where everybody is benefiting. So there's so many ways you can get involved. Come see us at our events. The face of the Blunt Space is there every time, or you can connect with us virtually, submit, check out our website, follow us on Instagram at the Blunt Space. So many different ways.
You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, Shirley briefly touched on this. Definitely on all of our social medias. Feel free to connect with us. It is at the Blunt Space, or sometimes just is at Blunt Space. So on Instagram, Facebook, we're even on LinkedIn. We may be looking into getting a TikTok soon. So yeah, definitely connect. You'll get the scoop on all of our events, and you get to see all the lovely artists that contribute to us. Another really cool thing that we do, if artists really want to get involved, is we create artist profiles on our website. Kind of functioning as a directory with every person that we interact with. We are always saying, listen, this artist is dope, you should probably book them for this. Or you know what, this poet is really awesome, we use them for one of our events, you should book them for this. Lots of people approach us all the time because they come to our events and they see the amount of talent that comes to them. So definitely, if you are looking for another resource to definitely have a place to house some of your stuff, to potentially get booked or get connections, that's something that we also offer. So we're really walking the walk and doing what we can do to bring all the opportunities we can to the communities that we work with.
And that's a beautiful thing. Again, this is why I created this show, is because I wanted to, again, just like y'all, to give y'all a platform to give people who are actually walking in their purpose and helping. Like you said, it's a give and take. You can help me, I can help you, I can introduce you to somebody who can help you, and vice versa. So I think that it's a beautiful thing. Again, I want to thank y'all so much, because the funniest thing is I have been submitting my art, and you know, I kept getting rejected, you know, because my art is a little different, you know what I'm saying? And so when I got a response back from y'all, it was like, yeah, you know, this is dope, and you know, I'm like, okay, well, thank you, you know what I'm saying? And so I really appreciate it. Yeah. And now that I know that you guys do more than just the art, the visual art, I'm a writer myself. Like I said, I act, I do all these different things, and so yeah, now I got some people out in Florida, you know, I can come out there, and you know, I would definitely love to come to one of the events.
Come see us.
In New York, you know, we can come together and maybe create something and do something in New York. I think that would be really dope.
You're in New York?
Yes, I'm in New York. I'm originally from Texas, but I've been here now. It'll be 2 years next month.
That's crazy. I just moved from New York. I was in Queens. I lived in New York for 6 years. That's where I went to grad school. Really? I love a girl in New York. Hey, New York.
It's taking me some time to get adjusted to it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is the land of opportunity, but they rude, and they are different. I'm in the Bronx.
So, raised very different. You in the Bronx? Bless your heart.
I'm in Co-op City.
Okay, I dated a guy in the Bronx, and I learned the hard way to never do that again.
Girl, I could have told you that.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate y'all for coming out and taking time. Again, let them know where they can find. Again, tell people they can find the Blunt Space, and then you guys individually. And any last words of advice to anybody out there? Again, anybody like myself who still have to go and do my 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? But I still am seeking to be a full-time entrepreneur and get my art out there. But anybody, any last words of advice to anybody out there that you know that you want to leave?
Yeah. Definitely to any new artists out there, don't be afraid to put your artwork out there, and don't be afraid to make connections. One of the biggest things a lot of people run into is they're afraid to go into spaces they feel like they're not welcome in. The only way that we'll have space in those spaces is if we create it. So, child, interrupt those spaces, get your art up in there, go and talk to whoever you need to, and actually bring yourself to the forefront. People admire that. People gravitate towards that. It's one of the biggest advices I think I can give. If you want to connect with me, have a little chat. I can be found on Instagram. It's just my first and last name, Caden Small, CADINSMALO. Yeah, definitely connect with me if you want to chat. I can definitely, and if you ever find yourself in Florida where we're based, although within the next 3 years, we plan on going a little further out of Florida, but you know, big plans coming. Yes, definitely check us out.
We family now, so we connected now. So
we family.
we in there. We in there. And Miss Troy, any last words for you?
Yeah, I love that you found a space in us where your art is appreciated. You're not alone when it comes to that. From people who are artists who are trying to get their work published, you always have to deal with those rejections. And I think for artists out there, especially marginalized artists who are accustomed to rejection, just never give up. I know that's cliche, but there's always a space for you. And it's people like us, including Queen, who are working our asses off to make sure that we give you that space. So anytime you get that rejection, that discouragement, that no is just pushing you into the right direction. And I think the blunt space is always the right direction for any artist. So I encourage y'all, my advice is to rock with us, submit with us. We're up and coming nonprofit who want to help voices like that. You can reach us at Blunt Space, The Blunt Space, on any social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Rock with us on Twitter. We be on there as well. If you guys want to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram at chaotic_Kodaks. Kodaks with a Z because I made it in high school and I did grow up in the hood. So just so I don't forget where I came from, had to have a little ratchetry in there, a little razzle dazzle of ratchetry. So y'all connect with your girl. I do respond. I would love to connect more with different artists and just learn more about the community. I'm very obsessed with connecting with the community. I think that's the solution to a lot of today's problems. So yeah, thank you for having me, and I hope y'all connect with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to leave y'all with my audience. I want to leave y'all with a quote that that I got from y'all that was at the end of the email that I really think is dope. It says, silence is a deadly weapon. The voice is a weapon of mass destruction. Both are instruments that require mastery and skill. Choose your weapons wisely. Okay. I think that is really profound, and I think that that's really dope. And that was from Quinn Killen.
Yes, so one of our fellow co-founders. So shout out to Quinn.
Shouts out to Quinn. Shouts out to the other co-founders. Hopefully one of these days, willfully one of these days, we can all connect and I can connect with all 5 of y'all. But again, y'all, this has been dope. I really appreciate it. Another episode where I have real talks with quality people who are definitely walking in their purpose. Don't be a stranger. Y'all come back anytime y'all have anything. You have a platform now. And you know, like I said, we family, we in there. So I appreciate y'all. And y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. I'm sure it's looking lovely outside. I'm gonna get out here and enjoy this lovely day before it be cold tomorrow, because you know that's how they do it.
The weather everywhere.
Okay. All right, y'all.
That's
y'all
how they
have
do.
a good day, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Hello, sir. I'm Detective Avery. This is Detective Barnes. Sorry to disturb you so late in the hour. Do you know a Constance Wells?
Yeah, she helped me get back in school. Why?
You sure that's all she does for you?
Several days ago, we found Miss Wells passed out in her room after taking some pills. We found this pill bottle in her possession. It has your name on it. We're just wondering, how did she get it? What's going on?
Go back inside, baby. It's okay. Let's go back inside.
So do you mind coming with us down to the police station? This actually isn't the only bottle we found with your name on it. She has several stashed in empty drawers. Just want to ask you a few questions.
Am I under arrest?
You could be, if you don't come with us.
No, but we could come back with a search warrant.